Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Driven in Alchemy. My name is Starr. Today I'm going to enter into the space with a 3 wise men incense. Now, I don't know which of the scents it is, gold, frankincense, or myrrh, but I was guided to read this little phrase that was on the packaging. As they got closer, the star shine brighter. And I'm guessing, that's the stars shone brighter, the North Star. And I wanted to share from the Oracle guidebook from Kyle Gray that I'm going to share some cards with later. The insert in this, because I think it's beautiful. A call forth from within the light of source. Thank you for standing at the forefront of my heart and mind. Thank you for activating the ancient wisdom in my soul. I welcome the support of the heaven, earth, the stars, light beings, and beyond. And so it is. I call forth from within the light of source. Thank you for standing at the forefront of my heart and mind. Thank you for activating the ancient wisdom of my soul. I welcome in the support of the heaven, the earth, the stars, the light beings, and beyond. And so it is. I call forth from within the light of source. Thank you for standing at the forefront of my heart and mind. Thank you for activating the ancient wisdom in my soul. I welcome in the support of the heaven, the earth, the stars, light beings, and beyond. And so it is. And I was feeling a real strong sense, and I wanted to mention that I would like to dedicate this reading to Oliver Tree. And Oliver Tree lost their life recently in a helicopter collision. Now, I wasn't very aware of this soul when they were alive. I think I would have seen them maybe a couple of times. Their images, I'm not entirely sure if I'd heard a lot of their music. But this soul was brought to my attention, and my conspiracy hat is well and truly on 24/7. But there was something about this and this soul that has really struck a chord in me. I'm doing research behind the scenes from this time, and I've had this a few times in my life. I used to work for a ticketing company, and they were a couple of artists that passed. So I was refunding tickets for them, and I didn't know about these souls predominantly until that time. And it was Lil Peep and XXX Tentacion. And after I learned about their lives, it really took me into such a deep dive on celebrity culture and just how toxic it is and can be. And Aaron Carter was brought to my attention in that time as well. So I don't know why I'm feeling called to share all of this today. Perhaps it's going to be a confirmation for someone that there is something deeper there. And I've connected to a lot of souls that have passed, that have been famous. Which has been an interesting and I want to say challenging time for me as someone that consider themselves to be, highly intuitive and connecting to spirit somewhere. I didn't understand why these souls stepped forward towards me. So I'm sharing that because I think that there might be some out there that are confused about their path, and some obscure things might be coming up for you and you think, why is it happening to me? And I want to say that we are all connected. Every soul that is alive on this planet is very much connected. And if there is a reason why soul is stepping towards you from the past or the beyond, there is a definite connection there some way, somehow. And maybe you just need to dig a little bit deeper to find out what that is. But I feel like that's the pre-spiel, everyone. I'm going to open up with a little bit of sound as well. 311 on the clock there, just to cleanse the energy. And I was guided to look at the, oh gosh, I've forgotten what it's called now. Octana, I think, is the instrument that is called. Like the clay whistle type instrument. So I'm sharing that as well. But I'm not sure what's going to step forward today, everyone. I feel like there has been some interesting energy around, and I was very much feeling the inner child stepping forward. I've obviously brought JC to the table. I brought in some moonstone. I brought in this gorgeous flashy labradorite as well, if you can see it there on camera, just about. Yeah, there we go, super flashy. And I brought in this, also another flashy labradorite, which reminds me of a very dear soul sister, and also this shell, which I do believe came from Wales. So there's something. And I also brought in this peacock feather as well, that was also given to me 427 by a very dear soul sister. And I had a dream about 2 peacock feathers the other night that felt very significant. So look back at your dreams, everyone, because there might be more messages in there. But I'm just going to hop in with some oracle cards, which are from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. Yes, I've got 2 Kyle Gray oracle cards I'm using today, 449. Take note of intuitive messages, and we've got the moon. And I was very much feeling this. So the last full moon that we had was a strawberry moon, and I kept saying the snow moon, and I keep saying it. So there's something about the snow moon and the strawberry moon and that connection. So maybe someone missed that message. Go back to this. And I'm being drawn to the symbolism behind here, which I keep forgetting what that is. I want to say the flower of life, but I know that it's not that. High Priestess, harness mystic power. I'm being drawn to the black cats here. Cats have been a significant theme for the past few days for me, quite comically so. And then we've got great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. And I was seeing this card in my mind's eye. So again, this symbolism coming up. And this idea of, where are you gaining information right now? That is what I want to share. Where are you gaining information right now? And what is the true reflection that is being shown to you? I feel like there might be some distortion right now in some's energy, and that's okay, but I'm hearing you'll get through this. So if you're feeling like you're going through a difficult time or a difficult period, you will get through this. And I'm hearing Daniel Bedingfield's, I gotta get through this. So just have some patience, and drum and dream and journaling. So you might want to take up some shamanic drumming meditations. There are lots that you can listen to out there, and it was 607, 611. And I'm being drawn to the symbolism here. This feels elusive, and it's interesting that I've put the drums on top of this Egyptian figure here. So maybe you are having a change of heart. Maybe you're having a change and a shift in your belief system, and that's okay. I'm being drawn to the Merkaba up here as well. So maybe you want to look into the Platonic solids, which are the symbolism of everything that is. I'm being drawn to grab that actually for you. I think I showed that last week at some point in the reading, maybe the week before. Oh, that's so interesting. The card has fell right down the back of somewhere. And I didn't know that had happened. Well, I think I did know, and then I forgot to pick it up. So there's something that someone's forgotten about or forgot to pick back up again. Oh, this is interesting, and it feels very strange for me to be reading this. So we've got the Platonic solids. So screenshot these. These come from, when this card came from, a very gorgeous crystal teller, so you might want to check those out. Maybe there's something there for you on their website. Apologies for the mess and the grub on there that just fell on the back of somewhere. Something you've forgotten, something you need to pick back up again. And I feel very short of breath, so that's a signifier for someone. Snake and shedding the old skin. This is about allowing for you to see your true reflection. I think many that are here, there is something that is not quite right. And I think it's you trusting your mystical power. Why aren't you trusting yourself at this time? I'm hearing there's still something toxic in your energy, and this needs to be addressed. And this message won't be for everyone, so use your discernment wisely, but there's still something that's lingering. Yeah, autumn, release the autumn rest. And maybe this person is literally called Autumn. But there is something about not allowing for your energy to be swayed at this time. You have to sink into your heart space and know what's true to you. And I feel like I want to say that your truth is almost so expansive that it's very, very difficult for you to hold on to it, because there is not many around you that can mirror that type of expanse to you. And I'm hearing dig deep, because you're going to find souls that can hold you in that space, but it might just take a little bit of time for them to reach you. And now, if you need help in your spaces and you would like a divine mirror for that, please do not hesitate to contact me. It's exactly why I'm here. But there is something about you being an inherent shaman, and maybe you didn't even have the verbiage for this. Maybe you didn't even understand what mysticism is, but you've always been very, very intuitive. And now you're waking up to your powers and to your gifts. And now you're thinking, what does this mean for me? And you're trying to find a space of grounding. And I'm hearing that's okay. It's going to come in time. But hold steadfast in where you're guided to research at this time. And I'm hearing just get rid of anyone that isn't aligning to you right now. And you will feel it. I feel like you've had a lot of situations where, I don't know, people betrayed you. You felt like people were being mean to you. That wasn't so that you were to feel left out. It was to get you out of that energy. You know, what's the phrase? A rejection is God's protection. Remember that phrase. A rejection is God's protection. And insert whatever your higher purpose is there. But I'm hearing it so loudly. Yeah. And I knew that this energy of this shamanic force would be stepping forward. she-wolf, unleash your wild within. And I always call this a shamanic deck. And I think there is something to shamanic experiences right now from the past that are coloring your state of existence. Yeah, with the moons here. And a few weeks ago, I found myself howling and growling like a wolf. And I just went with it. So maybe you're being taken to very obscure spaces right now in your growth. And maybe this feels quite scary because you haven't had experiences like that before. I would suggest doing some past life regressions, either with me personally or finding meditations that you can do that with if you feel supported. But there is something in you needing to dig deeper at this time. What is in your Akashic records? If you don't know what they are, do some research into that, because you're unlocking something from the past in order to be able to use it now. And I'm hearing, don't worry about others on your pathway that are doing similar things to you, those that are already advanced in their spaces, because no one can actually take from you what is inherently yours. And I want to say, be careful where you're gaining inspiration for some out there, because you want to make sure that you're having your own inherent awakenings and expressions of what you're supposed to do this lifetime. It's okay to gain inspiration from others, but make sure that you are coming from a space of, oh no, this is truly mine and I really feel it. I'm being called to take it to the womb. What is your womb telling you? What is your heart telling you? You know, divine masculines, everything else in between is welcome, but take it to that pit of you to make sure that it is truly yours. Yeah, I'm hearing like stealing ideas, stealing content. And, you know, maybe this is unconscious, but just be aware of that in your spaces. Check back in with self with everything before you move ahead in something, because yeah, it's almost like you don't want to get into tricky territory. Yeah, the shaman, trust in the higher forces. And I promise you, I didn't know I was holding this card all of this time. And 11 and 39, you might want to look at what happened when you were 11 and 39 and being drawn to the expression of time here. Maybe time started to speed up for you in those years, and that's something to focus on. And perhaps that's a time frame for some out there. If you feel like everything feels a little bit stagnant, I'm hearing, yeah, your 39th birthday is going to be something quite miraculous. Traveler, move in a new direction. And I think this is why this energy was stepping forward, is making sure what's yours so that you know which pathway to walk. It's about you and you alone. And maybe you're feeling like, am I supposed to do this alone? And it's okay if you feel like this is a yes. For some reason you feel like you can't do that, but you can. You very much can. And we've got Fox Spirit here. Trust your talents in changing times. I'm being drawn to the feathers here. So this is about knowing what's in your heart and why, and trusting that your heart can never steer you wrong, and understanding that the past is the past and the future can be whatever you want it to be. But we have to create for ourselves, and whatever falls into our lap from that space is meant to be. And I think this goes across the board. Yeah, Star ancestors, follow the voice of your soul. And this is it. Your ancestors and your teams of light are saying, what are you doing for you, and what are you doing for everyone else? And this is something to take heed of. This is something to be sure of when you're stepping forward. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for someone else? And I'm being called to stop this here and pause and feel the second part of this reading for everyone. And I didn't know this is how these readings were going to go, but I'm going with the flow. So there's going to be a part 2 to this reading. So take notes, everyone, because I feel like we need to stop and pause. We need to take note of everything that is being shared to us, because there is a lot of information that comes from readings, and I think sometimes we can gloss over that if we watch a few. And I feel like this is why I'm being encouraged on this space to slow down, to pause, to split the message up so that you have time to process. And really do process, everyone. And this feels different for me as a reader. I feel like usually I give a lot of information, and I feel like the souls that are stepping towards this, it needs time to germinate within you. It needs time to be processed within you. It needs time to be taken to the roots, the soil, to the space that is so deep within you, in order to bring forward what needs to be given to you. And I keep hearing, just tell me, but I can't tell you because it's going to come from you. And I don't mean for that to be, you know, a discouraging space. But if you would like to work one-on-one with me, feel free to do so. But I think there is something that needs to come inherently from you. And I can hold space for you, to be a sounding board for you, to try and draw that out for you if that feels too scary to be alone. But I'm hearing the words that you want to hear aren't going to come from my voice. It's going to have to come from inside of you. So I hope that that makes sense. Feels like there's a lot of energy stepping forward, as always, with these readings. But come back for part 2. Take care.